Jesus says, Matthew 5:29, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. How many of you want to take Jesus for real? If you do want to take Jesus for real, then every person in your life, in your household, in your circle, I don't care who they are, you're a grown adult, you have a command. Cut them off. If you are not going to cut the people off in sin out of your life, then you get to go with them. That's how it works. You cannot be holy and sit at the table of the devil. And you got to quit thinking the table of the devil has a skull in the middle and a bunch of candles. Some of you have family members who are foul-mouthed, who are friends of this world, who are sinful, and they come into your household. You are going to burn in hell with them because you did not cut them off. You are a friend of the world. You allow it. You allow it. Some of you go to work and you sit at the table with a bunch of sinful coworkers. Guess what? You and them get to burn together. Jesus said, if he comes and he catches you with the drunkards, he's going to cast you out with the unrighteous and the non-believing. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Isn't that what he said? Does it mean only if you're with the drunkards? No, it's a straight up explanation to make sense of the bigger picture. It is just he catches you with the sinful, as he commanded you to be ye separate. If he catches you, you're going with them. You receive the same penalty and the sentence, the death sentence that they receive. You get the same thing. This generation doesn't take Jesus for real at all. Look here. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. It says, having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. Does today's generation do this? No. How many of today's Christian do you know that cleanses their life, their household, not only themselves, but their life, their household, their work, everything? Purge their life of everything sinful in obedience to God. How many? Only a few crumbs, only a handful on the entire planet. That's how sad our situation is. Today's generation would not suffer for Jesus for anything. Nothing. They wouldn't lose their job for Jesus. They wouldn't lose their mama or their daddy, who's our filthy sinners. They wouldn't separate from them. They wouldn't lose Granny. Granny said, takes her teeth out, sits in that rocking chair cussing everybody. She's a foul-mouthed lie. And you sit there and let that lady rock in that chair in your house. I will take her in that chair and put her on the curb. You got me messed up, disrespecting my Lord and my God with your foul mouth. No, today's generation says, oh, that we couldn't do that. That's not very Christ-like. It's because the Christ you follow is not Jesus. You have made yourself a brand new version. This generation, a brand new version of Jesus. You don't obey nothing. You're foolish virgins. And the joke's on you. It's the last call to heaven. Y'all better get your stuff patched up and get it patched up quick. You better start cutting off people. Some of you obey mammon. What did God say about that? You cannot serve God and mammon. Isn't that what he said? What is mammon? Money. How do I know if I serve mammon? Well, the money, if it's money, it dictates your life. Money is the decision maker on the moves that you make in your life. If money comes in, you will do what it is and whatever necessary to get that money, obtain that money, instead of obey Jesus. Now, let me make sure I say this, because this generation loves to create semantics and split hairs. So I'm not saying because somebody offered you $1 million to drive with bags of narcotics across the Mexican border that you said, oh, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. The reason you wouldn't do that, some of you have somewhat of morals. I know sinful people, even devils, that have somewhat of a moral to things. And some of you are scared to go to prison. And so you wouldn't do that, right? Because they catch you a dead body, you're going to prison, right? You're not doing that. So But that's not the case. We're talking about simple things. Now, what if somebody offered you a job down at the car lot and you're going to make pretty good money? They average a sale of three, 2 or 3 cars a week. That's putting about $4,000 or $5,000 in your pocket weekly. Is that good money? Well, that's some real good money, right? And job, and all you have to do is go down there and sell these cars. Now, here's the rules. You're going to stay here. Here's the crew that works with you, your coworkers. They're all back in the back office back there, cussing and filth and talking about sexual perverted things. They're laughing and giggling, drinking their little coffee, waiting on the next nitwit to walk up there. They can hustle, sell them a car. And so your job is to hang out with them, mix and mingle with them, and then when a customer comes on a lot, you go out there. Now, you are not allowed to say certain things. You have to manipulate the situation. You have to use guile, manipulation, in order to get Granny to buy this brand new jacked up 4x4. Now, she's 98 years old, had 3 hip replacements. She has a walker, but you manipulate her and tell her that she needs a jacked up 4x4, big old giant, F-250 with this big old wheel, one of them pretty trucks, big giant F-250, maybe an F-450. I mean, whatever you can give her with the full leather lariat package. Is that what they call that thing? Is that layer? Is it the platinum? I don't know what they call it at Ford. I don't know. You got that big old giant Ford. Now, Granny, she believes you, and you just have to manipulate her. You even tell her that she can afford this. Now, you know good and well that her check that she gets in from her Social Security, well, it's only the exact number that you need to make the truck payment. But you convince her, oh no, you are going to be just fine, Granny, just to get that platinum F-250, F-450, whatever it is, that big old 4x4 truck sold. So you get the deal. Are you righteous? No, you're a piece of garbage, and you're fixing to burn in hell. So the money, the fact that you want that money, you went to that job. Now, I'm not saying all of you do this. Now, some of you also go to jobs like, I don't know, maybe you're in a call center, maybe you're working in some dentist office, and all you are is a little clerical person, maybe the secretary or something. You answer the phones, but you're in there, and the people that are coworkers in there, they're in there with foul mouths and perverse things. Good and well, they're talking about doing their evil deeds on the weekend. It's sinful stuff, and you're just mixed and mingled with them because you had to have that paycheck, and you decided to mix and mingle with them. You're now damned. You're going to burn with them. You serve mammon. You see, the mammon overrode the obedience to Christ. Mammon, when you serve mammon, you cannot serve Jesus. So it's very simple. If I told you to cut the job off and run, and you said, well, I'm going to pray about this, brother, and I go back to get me a job, and I go get back to get me some income in a place full of sinful people, then let it choke you and bring you down. Indeed, in Jesus' name. You're not going to serve the devil and make excuses to be amongst the devil and be mixing and mingling with the sinful and friends of the world for the sake of your paycheck and get to enter the kingdom. And I know you heard me. Just like you on a porch with your family members and your sinful friends, but on the inside you claim Jesus. Nope, you're going to burn in hell with them. All that nonsense is going to choke you to and drag you down to hell with them. It's either get right or get left. Y'all are out of time playing these dumb games. And I'm speaking dead to you. Any one of you who have made decisions to mix and mingle with the world instead of obedience to Christ, you're all going to burn in hell. And that's from the Lord.